Hello everybody, my name is Raphael Pelnard and I'm answering the question on James Baldwin, Sonny Blues. Analyze the following speech in which Sonny explained to his brother how he has survived the experience of racism in America, and it's quoted from Sonny himself. It's terrible sometime inside, he said. That's what's the trouble. You walk the street, black and funky and cold, and there is not really a living ass to talk to, and there is nothing shaking, and there is no getting out of it. That storm inside. You can't talk it, and you can't make love with it. And when you finally try to get with it and play it, you realize nobody's listening. So you've got to listen. You got to find a way to listen. And the question is, how does this explanation make Sonny a sympathetic character? So throughout the story, we discover that Sonny is a pretty tough nut to crack. He just like gets stuff on himself. He's not very talkative. He doesn't talk much about his feelings, even if he has been going through a lot of hard experience. And on this passage of the story, it's really the first time that he opens himself and that he talks from his heart. Before the conversation, every conversation that he has is really short. Like, for example, ask if he wants to do a drink, and he's like, if he wants to a beer. His brother asks him if he wants to a beer, and he answer like, no, well, maybe. Or when his brother asks him what he thinks, he always answer, but I don't know. Maybe he play with the notebook, and sometime something told me that I could scrub my tongue and that Tony was doing his best to talk, that I should listen. So before this passage in page 76, Sonny is really close up to himself, and this is the very first time that he kind of open up to his brother. After that, they are going to the club where Sonny is playing music, and that's the first time that his brother really listen to the music that his brother makes. And while he's listening to the music, you can understand that music is sort of the way that Sonny is expressing himself. His brother discovered like a side of his brother that he didn't know, and I'm quoting from page 79. And Sonny hadn't been near a piano for over a year, and he wasn't on much better term with his life, not the life that's stretched before him now. And he and the piano stem started on the one way, got scrapped, stopped, started on the other way, panicked. And the face I saw on Sonny, I will never seen before. Everything had been burned out of it, and at the same time, things usually hidden were being burned in by the fire and the fury of the battle, which was occurring in him up there. So you can see that piano is really a therapy for him, and that's its kind of way to for Sonny to express himself. And in page 80, at the very last page, I heard what he had gone through, and will continue to go through until he came to rest in earth. He made his that long line for which he knew only Mama and Daddy. So through the piano, he's really expressing himself more than usually by speech. And that passage on page 76 makes him a sympathetic person, because it's the first time that you realize what he really went through. And that's my answer for the question. Have a great day.